So there is so much going on at the moment. If I think about how much I've learned and studied in a sense last year, and I thought like, man, I am ahead of things. And then bam, comes January and I am again like, where are all these new things coming from? And I think everybody feels exactly like that. Recently, I spoke to a financial advisory firm, quite a big one, and they have 210 contracts that they deal with. Now, I'm just thinking like, whoa, the amount of information that comes not just only from a marketing perspective and a training perspective and an update perspective and events that you get invited to, it's really like, it's just crazy how to stay on top of all of that as a business, and never mind you as an individual. So one of the things that is really, really top of mind for me at the moment is just how quickly things are changing, right? And they're not just step changes. They are massive. Like, it almost feels like leaps and bounds that we are changing every single day and every single week. So it's really something I haven't experienced before. And it's important to understand that we need to take a bit of a step back and not necessarily get caught up in all of this, right? We still got to know, like, what is our core function? What is it that we're trying to achieve? Which things do we listen to? Which things do we tune out? And don't try and listen to everything and everyone, because that's all you'll be doing all day. So really important that you sort of choose the type of things that you consume, the types of things that you implement in your business, and all of that. So really, really important. I think the biggest thing with the age and the time where we are in at the moment is that obviously there are a lot of new possibilities. And I'm really so happy because I've had quite a few people in the last month or so that have reached out to me saying like, you know what, I'm realizing that maybe I need to think about, what it's like when we do digital interactions with clients. And I'm like, yes, people are finally starting to get it. There's so much that we can do. And then I give them a lot of information and things that they can help get them started. But it's one of those things where there's so many opportunities and possibilities to do things faster, to do things more efficiently, to stop doing things, to start doing new things, to find different types of clients, to offer different types of value and add value to what you're already doing for clients, to build deeper, more fulfilling relationships with clients. And of course, tech has got a role to play in all of that. I think over the last few years, we have gotten so caught up in this whole thing around, the human, that we're also starting to neglect the technical side of it. And that side is never going away. The one thing that we need to remember is that the more we build, right? So when you're building a house, when you lay the foundation, you're not breaking down the foundation to build the wall. You build the wall on top of the foundation. You put the roof on top of the walls, because otherwise it ain't going to work. But it feels like what we're sometimes doing is we are breaking down a wall we just built, and then we want to put on the roof, and then the roof is on the ground, and that's not really helpful. So when you build new skills, it mustn't replace what you've been doing in the past. It must add to what you're doing. So that's an important part as well to consider in the time that we're going into. We're getting a lot of people asking, but I realize I need a refresher on tax and on estate planning and things like that. So I think that's also happening. But tech is making a lot of things possible for us. And that I'm very pro-tech, that we use tech a lot in our business. We've automated now close to 100 things in our business and continue to automate. I built a new automation yesterday again. So it's never stopping. You always find a new use case and a new way of doing things, and sort of saying, oh, but that way that I used to do it is really crappy. I must rather do it this way. So you learn throughout the process. But all of those are important. Now, the one thing, if any of you have read any of the articles that I've written last year, if not all of them, at least 80 or 90% of them, I ended off with stay curious. Because I think that is really the key to getting ahead. It's the key to stay relevant. You have to be curious. So instead of saying, this is too much for me, I can't do this, like I'm not interested, tech is not for me, and all these things that are true, because that's how we feel and that's how we think. It all starts in one place. It all stems from the same place. But if we are curious, it means that we have a different mindset. We have a different approach. We are open to things before we respond. It's often like, if you ask somebody, do you eat avo? Oh, no. Oh, my word. Have you ever tried avo? No. I can just see I won't like it. But it's those kinds of things that we really need to think about. So I mean, that's a very long introduction to get to what I really want to talk about today. And this is sort of to share our theme or our word for the year. And this is something that I want to make sure that there's a golden thread throughout all the episodes that we do this year with all the guests that we interview. There's going to be this thing around explore. So explore is our word for the year. And it means a lot of things. And you can tackle it from different angles. I want to go through a few of those for you as well. But I mean, if you think about exploring, or then saying stay curious, but exploring, it applies to personal growth. It applies to business innovation. It applies to technology adoption. It's mindset, it's client relationships. It touches every single thing in your business. So it did take me quite a long time to come up with this word for the year. Last year, it was simplify. And I think we sort of did that to a large degree, but can always do better. But this year, it's about exploring. So I want to share with you 6 different things that we can sort of think about in terms of exploring and how this can help you in 2025 and beyond, because this is not a once off or one and done thing. So the first one is exploring mindset. You would have heard me say recently, and it wasn't me who came up with it. I attended a seminar where Daniel Strauss said that you cannot grow your business, or your business can't grow unless you do. So if you get stuck somewhere in anything, in life, in business, with anything, it probably means that you have not grown to the next level yet. There's no room for improvement or for change, because we just, the box is only this big. So it's a very important part for us, and everything starts with mindset. Mindset is the big thing that goes between like, this will never work and I will find a way. I mean, that is the biggest contrast there probably is. This will not work versus I will find a way. I don't know how, I don't know when, I don't know who, I don't know anything, but we will figure it out. That is an explore mindset. That is an open-minded mindset. It's a curiosity mindset. There's energy there. When you say, this won't work for me. My clients are not going to do this. Like, this is not for me. My staff won't. Like, we're really tired now of all of this change. It's got a negative energy to it, and it will just draw you down, and you will see all the things around you that will say like, yeah, but see, exactly, there's the proof. So the first thing we got to start off with is thinking about exploring what is our mindset now, because we can say one thing, but it could be very much that we're actually demonstrating something else. And we have to be very honest with ourselves in that. I find myself often where I say one thing and then I act another way. And then I go like, but now why are these two things not aligned? Because that is what I believe my mindset to be, which is positive and open in this. But then I find a reason not to do things, It's happened a lot. So it's something to be aware of and something to catch yourself out with and say, no, this needs to stop now. So that's really important. So if you start with anything today, if you feel stuck, right? So many of you are really thriving and you're doing very well, and you think like, what is the next level for me? You got to think bigger. So again, it starts with mindset. For somebody who's stuck, you got to go like, is it my beliefs? Is it the stories I'm telling myself every day? How can I change that? So it's a little bit two different approaches, but really important to start there. So if you want to cultivate an explorer's mindset, if you will, got to ask better questions, because the only thing that's going to change your mind is new information. But to get new information, okay, you can go and study and read up on things, but then you also need to be careful about your sources. But you need to ask better questions. You change your questions, get different answers, you learn, you start thinking differently, and everything then flows from there. Whenever something doesn't work, this was very hard for me. I remember when I started painting little figurines, I was like, oh, man, this thing, I don't want to stuff it up. These things are expensive. And then I wouldn't paint for a long time, because like every time I pick up the brush, it just like, I don't know, what I see on a video and what's happening here in front of me, two very different things. And, but how else are you going to learn without doing? So failing is part of that. So always remember that, and be open to what others are saying and what others are thinking. It's not to say that they are right. It's not to say that they are wrong. So, but you've got to be open to those things as well. So that's exploring a new mindset, right? So that's important. The second thing that I want to talk about is learning as a path to exploration. again, everything, it starts with how you think about things, but then new information, new knowledge means you can try new things. When you do new things, you learn new skills. And when you have new skills, you can do stuff with it. You can add value. So this is really important. You got to, for me, and there's plenty of people in my network that really loves learning, but I don't think anybody embodies this more than Francis, and Francis is just next level, right? I remember Uncle Vidi as well. I've told you about Uncle Vidi, who said to me, Francis, you've got to learn something new every day. He learned to program at the age of 65, and when I met him, he was 85. So it's incredible what you can do if you just want to, right? But learn, really important. CPD is not just a regulatory thing. If you do CPD well, it's incredibly beneficial. Even the things when you look at topics sometimes and you think like, oh man, how boring. You never know what you will learn and pick up from those things and how it can change your thinking about certain things, right? It takes one little thing. It's not necessarily a whole bunch of things. Also, this whole shift where we go from being a tick box compliance and regulation to demonstrating that we're actually doing and living and embodying all of these regulatory requirements. There's got to be, we've got to learn and see, but how can I turn these things into an asset for me and my business and position it to my client in such a way that they find, I have to work with Francois, because when I work with Francois, I get all these protections, and I know that there's all these ethics and there's all these different things that they comply with. And, that is a benefit to me. So this is really important as well. So you want to do that. When you diversify your knowledge, when you have you can draw on different pieces of knowledge. I think one of the things that I do a lot, I don't know if you do this, but I look at various different things, specifically like the creator economy, for example. And I look at the people that are into different kinds of service businesses. I'm trying to think now exactly, because I do a lot of people who are into creative things. So they create maybe art, or they create logos, or they create content or things like that, to learn about what they do and how they do it. Not because I create content, but because you pick up so much about business from them, the ones who are doing it well. You got to think about, whenever if you, for example, can go and chat to your business clients, ask them questions about their business and think about how can you take what they are doing. When you go to the Spur, right? The restaurant, Spur. If you really look at how they operate, what they do, isn't there something that you can find inspiration in? Don't bring back the salad bar. Maybe you should, I don't know. But there's always opportunity in learning from other industries and other businesses and do that. Clients' expectations will be driven by that. I've said this many times over the last 5 years. Clients' expectations are going to be driven by what they experience in other industries and not by what they experience in financial services. So really important. And then also just obviously understanding behavioral finance and psychology and all those things is always very, very helpful. Right, so the third one is the role of experimentation. Really important. You got to stay curious. You got to try things. You got to do things, and you see it doesn't work, stop it quickly. When things are working, just unpack it and see why it works, and always involve your team. Right, so we got to think about this. So you got to go sit down and think about what is the 1 or 2 or 3 things that we want to really tackle this year and figure out. We don't know how it works. We don't know if there is a solution. We don't know anything, but we're gonna try. And you will be amazed at how sometimes the thing that you do does not lead to the outcome that you were hoping for. But the thing that you do leads to the next step, which takes you to another step. And that step takes you to something that you never could have foreseen, which is absolutely incredible most of the time. So you've got to think about that, right? So think about small and low risk things that you could do. Maybe there's a new way of engaging with clients. So think about just, upgrading your whole digital setup. That's a small little thing that you can do and see what the feedback is. Think about just maybe creating a short little video like Razan was talking about. Just start doing those things and share those just with your existing clients. There's so many things that you could do. And of course, things like automation and AI and those things are really key things that one can look at. Also, something that, I don't know, somebody said the other day, and I don't get this, right? Because the fourth thing I want to talk about is collaboration and community as a tool for growth. Last week it was that somebody said to me, you know, there's so much competition and we're all in competition with each other. And I'm like, no, I honestly don't believe that. So if you are of the mindset that the advisor across the hall from you or across the road from you or elsewhere in the town where you are or somewhere on the internet like you are, that they are your competition, you are focusing on the wrong things. So we got to start thinking about how do we collaborate and how do you build community. I've also spoken about this quite a bit in the past, but it's like engagement. I don't think people get what I'm really saying yet, but it'll come. So collaboration is, you got to think about, one, how do I work closer with someone? How do we learn from each other, right? And of course, you also want to go and say, well, how would this make me different? Right? Because we can all only look after so many clients. Do we know what that is? Do we know what our limits are? Do we know what we do for those clients? That's the most important part, because that's the thing that sets you apart. The way you engage, the experience you create, all of those things then play into that, and it makes things different for clients. But if we can start also turning our client bases into communities themselves. So we are very good at understanding that join Propulsion, become a member of Propulsion, you're part of the community, and there's loads of benefits and interaction and networking, all those things that you'll get. But why don't we do that with our clients? So think about creating a community for your clients. And all that means is that you'll start introducing more of your clients to each other. Let them do business with each other. Let them help each other grow their businesses or whatever that may be. So we got to start thinking about how can we leverage that and how can we use that as a tool to educate our clients as well in the process. So yesterday I spoke a lot about my vision for the financial planning profession. And one of the things I spoke about is educated, informed and engaged clients. So you can hear more there. The fifth thing is obviously technology and AI. If you want to explore new ways of doing things, you want to get some time back seriously, although just remember it often takes a lot of time that you need to invest first before you get it back exponentially. It doesn't just happen. It's not a switch that you flip on. But you can no longer ignore technology. You can decide to still ignore AI. And by the way, when I say AI, I'm really talking about generative AI, because there's different types of AI, but specifically generative AI. It can really help you a lot with working on your business. It can help you with a lot of marketing. It can help you with a lot of content creation. It can help you with analysis and writing a lot, right? But you got to know how to use it well. And if you're not using those things, others are. And even if their output isn't as great, right? They are getting in front of people, and maybe you're not. They are able to see a couple of more clients, and you are not, because you're still working in the old way and sort of still wanting to do everything from scratch. So those things are really important, right? So you've got to think about this and say, well, I've got to explore it this year. I have to give it a chance. I have to think about this and see, and take my team on the journey with me and my clients, very importantly. So think about that. I think what's really important is that obviously there's some skills that you need to learn. This month in Money Marketing, I wrote an article about the skills that you need to learn this year. And there are some skills that you need, and that's always the first start. So you've got to lay the foundation, have the principles in place, and then you start looking at, well, okay, what tools do we use? And once we know what tools we use, then we know what do we use them for, or all of those things. So actually that comes first, and then the tools. And then, it's sort of getting it integrated into your business. Very importantly, I don't know if you've seen, but the EU has got an AI Act that came out, and in, I think it's section 4, it's saying that no employee is allowed to use AI unless they've been properly trained. And I think that is the thing to do. If you think about something like DeepSeek that Lelani was talking about, so many people jumped onto it, but it was all a marketing thing, right? If you really delve deeper into these things, you can't just say, oh, here's a new tool and it's so fantastic because everybody says so. There are things that we teach you that you need to do before you decide, am I using this tool or not? Am I downloading this? What goes in there and what doesn't go in there to protect yourself and your clients? So it's not as easy as just jumping onto the latest new thing. You really got to have a process and a system for that, right? So very important. So the fifth one, technology and AI. The sixth one is letting go and doing the uncomfortable. So this is not an easy one, because we hang on to the way that we used to do things. we don't want to do, because it's really disruptive. It's really draining sometimes to go through change. And, if the pain of staying the same is not greater than the pain of changing, then we're not going to change. And that's not such a great thing. But I think the businesses that will thrive in future and be sustainable and really build, they are the ones who are going to say, you know what, we know like it's going to be painful, but we're going to do it anyway. We're not going to wait until we are forced to. Think about internet banking, for example. So many people refuse to do it until they close the branch in the town where they live. And now suddenly they love internet banking and they use it all the time. But at some point, you're not going to have a choice. But the question is whether you then try and catch up, which you won't be able to do probably, and or are you in it from the beginning and taking it slowly, because you can take it slowly. You don't have to rush, and that's all important, right? So it's not always just about adding things. It is about letting go as well. So stop doing things. And what are some of the things maybe that you might leave behind? So, well, hopefully old ways of thinking. This is not 1995 anymore, or 1985 for that matter. So we've got to think about it differently. It's not even 2005. Do you know that Facebook is 21 years old? It's crazy. Inefficient processes, right? So think about that. And also, it's not only about taking your actual process that you have at the moment and digitizing them. That's the recipe for disaster. You've got to rethink all of that and rebuild all of that. So really important. And then stop being afraid of change. See it as an adventure. Seeing as understand, let's learn what's possible. So that's what we want to do from that perspective. And you've got to lean into that discomfort. The more you can lean into it, and the more you can take action, even though you might be a little bit afraid, the reward for this is just incredible. And one of the things that we'll show you this year is exactly how much AI will help you work on your business, right? A lot of times people are looking at AI from a perspective of, I want to use it as a financial advisor to do the things that financial advisors do. I won't do that. Use it to do the things that you know you're supposed to do and that you don't have time for, and that takes hours and hours and days and weeks and months sometimes. Let it help you with that. And you will build a business that you don't really recognize. So just maybe a quick recap of what I spoke about before we get into the last bit. If you want to explore, it all starts with mindset, right? Very important. You want to continuously learn, because that is what fuels growth. New knowledge can become new skills. You can add more value, which leads to growth. You've got to experiment, and you've got to think about when you find something that really works, makes a difference, go all in on that. If you can collaborate with others, whether it's with your product providers, your software providers, Propulsion, your network of peers, or whatever it may be, the FBI, all of these other bodies. So you can really find that there's a lot of value there. Also, technology is a tool, right? It's not a threat. It's not the solution. It's just a tool, right? And you've got to learn to use it. And then, very importantly, you've got to let go and embrace discomfort if you really want to see big progress this year. So our word for the year is explore. So on that note, ladies and gents, that's it. I'm looking forward to a fantastic season. You can join our WhatsApp group if you want to. You can to stay in touch. Also, we will be posting all the episodes, obviously, on LinkedIn. And every now and then, we'll send out an email about it. And we'll post every week on the WhatsApp. So on that, looking forward to a fantastic season. If you've got any ideas, feedback for us, let us know what you thought about today, the new look and feel and the vibe and all of that. And we'll see you next week, same time, same place. Stay safe, be blessed and prosper. Stay curious. Continue to raise the bar. Thank you so much. Love you. Bye-bye.
All right, folks, that's a wrap for this episode of Propulsion. I hope you got as much out of this as I did. Remember to tune in every Friday at 8 a.m. South African time for our live show called Propulsion Live. You can find it at www.propulsion.co.za/live. And trust me, you don't want to miss it. If you enjoyed this episode of the podcast, hit that subscribe button or the follow button and share it with your friends, colleagues, and anyone else you think would get something out of it. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll catch you in the next one.